to GavGoesIn. Big up to I Am Titanium. Long time, man. Says, I can't believe players like Foden get in ahead of Eze in the England squad. But listen, a lot of that is down to what we already know. You know, obviously Eze getting the hat-trick yesterday. That's for sure going to put him firmly in Thomas Tuchel's eyes, in my opinion. But again, Eze's always been a top player, man. So there's no surprising, man, that there's been a lot of positive PR around him. But he's a top player, man. He's someone that I wanted United to sign before Cunha, you know. And I remember the videos of me doing that, saying Man United need to go and sign Eze. And, you know, obviously he was meant to be going to Tottenham, and now he's at Arsenal. And I'd say Man United and Tottenham's loss is Arsenal's gain, man, for sure. So, yeah, man, he's a top player. But as I mentioned yesterday about Foden, you know, there's a lot of people that think Foden is going to be in the England squad come the World Cup. I don't think Foden makes it. You know, and as I said, I don't think it's because Foden isn't good enough as a player, but I'm looking at who's ahead of him in the pecking order in terms of positions where Foden's going to play. And I think that, yeah, he's got a lot to do, man, to get into this squad. You know, and the fact that Tuchel was playing him as a false nine, I think that's your answer there, man. I just don't see him going because, you know, he's definitely not going to start, and Harry Kane plays more or less every game. So then why would you bring on Foden as a false nine if you want to rest Harry Kane when you can play other players or take other players in that position? So, yeah, man, we'll have to wait and see. Big up to everyone coming through anyway. Yeah, listen, I'm all good, man. I'm all good. Obviously, two shows for you guys today. One now and then back at 5:30. You know, we've got another visitor coming on today, another guest coming on today. He's an Arsenal fan. So, yeah, this stream at 5:30 today is sure to be interesting, you know. And, yeah, just be prepared for him to start running his mouth because Arsenal obviously top of the league at the moment, you know. The fact that they battered Tottenham yesterday as well, you know, obviously North London derby. So, yeah, he's going to be coming on at 5:30 today. So there'll be 4 of us. So, yeah, listen, man, it's going to be a good show. And it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be funny, man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, no. Apart from that, yeah, I'm all good, man. All good. Obviously Monday, and yeah, man. We'll just keep it going. You know what I mean? Yeah. Listen, it's crazy, man. But yeah, listen. I want to get into obviously there's some comments from Ruben Amorim. I think this come out yesterday in regards to Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee. And again, guys, let me know your comments and your questions about Zirkzee and obviously Mainoo, because as you guys can see in the title, you know, for me, it's not an option that these two players leave. It's just not an option. And what I would say is, and again, we are going to go through his comments. Yeah, listen, tonight's game, I'm not going to be able to watch. I'm going to have to watch it later because I'm actually out tonight. So I'm going to watch it when I get back. Obviously, I've got my boxing fight coming up, so I've got training tonight. So, yeah, I can't actually watch it, but I'm going to record it and watch it when I get back. But, yeah, listen, we are going to get into that 5:30 anyway, a bit more on the Man United and Everton game. So, but yeah, we're going to talk about, obviously, Ruben Amorim's comments. And I'm going to read them out because, you know, and I'm going to give you my take on what I'm gauging from this. So Amorim's comment says the club comes first. That's the priority number 1. We have to think about the club and the team. After that, anything can happen. Having been a footballer myself, I completely understand in regards to the game time. I want to help my players in all situations. So I don't know what will happen, but I want my players to be happy. I understand the frustration of some players given that the World Cup is approaching, but Manchester United comes first. So if I can help the club and the players, I'll be happy. Otherwise, I have to think about I have to think about the team. Yeah. Now, for me, we all know he doesn't rate Zirkzee and Kobe Mainoo anyway. Yeah. So that's not really a surprise. And I think a lot of the comments there are just sound bites. It's just he's just talking for talking's sake, in my opinion, because when he actually mentions that he has to think about the club, he has to think about the team, that's a complete lie for me. Big up to Amanda Mashian. Big up for coming through. Yeah, guys, I'll get back to your comments and questions after, once I just finish discussing. So when he says he thinks about the club and he says he thinks about the players, etc., biggest load of nonsense ever. Because the only thing that Ruben Amorim thinks about is himself. Like, it's clearly obvious, because I look at the fact that, this team are clearly struggling in this formation. I understand that this is the formation that he wants to play. But for me, surely if he was thinking about the players that he has at his disposal, he wouldn't be going with the same sort of lineup that he's doing. So when he says he's thinking about the players and thinking about the club, he's not, man. He's just trying to pull the wool over so many people's eyes, and he's basically letting everyone know he doesn't really rate Zirkzee and Kobe Mainoo. And we knew this anyway. It's nothing new. The angle that I'm coming from is this decision for Kobe Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee. For me, I know the World Cup's coming up. January's round the corner, and both players, desperately need, if they want to be on that plane to America for that World Cup, they know that they need to get out of this club in January. I like to look at it, as this decision being taken out of Ruben Amorim's hand by Ineos, because Ineos cannot afford, for me, to allow. They cannot afford for Kobe Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee to leave this club, because I've seen this for too many years now. The best players at Manchester United that don't get treated right, don't get played, have to end up leaving. And for me, I don't want to see this again, because I just believe that if you've got two players of that quality that are not being used because this manager doesn't really like the technical players, for me, it comes to a point where they have to make a decision on the manager. Because tonight's game, again, do I think United can win the game? United, with the squad they have, should be looking at winning most games. I'm not too confident about tonight's game. It wouldn't surprise me if it's a draw, or even Everton nicking the win, because, this team, there's no consistency about it. So, yeah, it's just one of them things, man, where I'm looking at Zirkzee and I'm looking at Kobe Mainoo. These are two players, especially for me, that can help this team. And if you look at the fact that Benjamin Sesko is out injured, the logic thing to do, he should have been playing anyway, is start Joshua Zirkzee. If I'm looking at those comments that he's come out with, I think that's telling everyone that Zirkzee's not starting, And again, I'd love to be proven wrong. I hope Zirkzee does start with Cunha one side and Mbeumo the other. I hope that is the front three, or the two tens and the striker. But if I'm honest with you, am I confident that he plays Zirkzee? I think just based on those comments, I don't think he's gonna play Zirkzee. I just can't see him doing that. And the problem is as well with this manager, is that when you have your favourites and you just feel like, you're just gonna just sabotage the team in expense of your favourites, you can't come and say you actually care about the team, because that is just a complete lie. It's a complete lie, man. So yeah, I'm expecting Mason Mount to start. Cunha's got a slight injury, but I think Cunha should be fine, and obviously Mbeumo. So again, you're gonna see Zirkzee on the bench, and the only time Zirkzee is gonna come on is whether United are losing the game and they need to make a change to try and change the flow of the game, or if it's someone, is a bit tired, or, you know, picks up an injury, he might use him. But this manager clearly doesn't rate Joshua Zirkzee, which is madness for me, really, But again, man, he's in survival mode, and I'd argue that of anyone, because he's definitely in survival mode, and the kind of players that he's just playing players really that he feels can nick him a result. But I'd say it one more time, this ain't sustainable. What Amorim's doing, it's not sustainable, because the way Man United are playing is not sustainable. Um, Even if you're looking at certain players that are in the first team now, are we going to be confident that these guys are starters next season? I'm not. So again, man, yeah, this whole nonsense about, he thinks about the players. This manager just thinks about himself. He thinks about himself. It's as clear as day. Like, he just thinks about himself, and you know what I mean. As I said, Ineos need to take it out of Amorim's hand, and just say to him, look, we're not getting rid of Kobe or Zirkzee, but you have to play them. You have to play them, because when AFCON comes up, you're going to be without, as I said yesterday, Mbeumo and Ahmad. So unless they go into the market and get him more players, which, has he actually deserved to get more players? I don't think he has. If he's not doing a good job with the players he's got now, why would you go into the market and go and get more players for him? I've never really seen a manager like Ruben Amorim being given so much excuses, or so much of his own way, in a sense, because for me, he's been given players. He's got a very good squad, but yet, we're meant to believe that he needs more and more players. Like, it's ridiculous. So for me, the fact that Ahmad and Cunha are going, Ahmad and Mbeumo are going to be going to AFCON, you haven't really got any natural replacements in that sense for those players. So again, if I'm Ineos, I'm just saying to Amorim, you have to use what you've got, unfortunately. And there's people out there that think, no, he deserves more players. He should be getting more players in January. There's no way that I want to see Conor Gallagher coming in for a start, because that's the player that he wants, So Ineos have to block that move straight away. I just hope that Ineos are not thinking to keep this manager and allow him to get players in that are nowhere near the level for me. So yeah, I want to see what happens, really, because I mean, tonight's game, Zirkzee and Mainoo are definitely not starting. We know that, but I'm just interested to see what happens going forwards, because for me, Ineos have to take it out of Amorim's hand. I'm looking at the signings that United have made. A lot of them are all club signings. I think all of them are really club signings, which is a positive. Because if they're buying players for the manager, then it's telling me that this manager's here for long. But the fact they're all club signings, for me, it's a case where he's on borrowed time for me. He's in survival mode, Ruben Amorim. And I'll say it one more time. There's no way that Ineos can allow Zirkzee and Mainoo to go. I know they want to go on loan to get game time, but I look at it from a different angle. I think Ineos have to intervene and tell Amorim he has to use those players. Otherwise, he's not getting anyone. Because you can't have two players like that really and truly haven't been given any game time, and then yet you want to discard them because they don't suit the way that you want to play, etc. And now you want more players. They have to block that for me and just tell Amorim he's got to use them, because there's no doubt he's going to have to use them if once Ahmad and Mbeumo go on AFCON. Now, again, youth players. Is he going to bring in any youth players? I don't think he brings youth players in, because, again, he's under pressure for his job. And, again, he's only playing players that he feels that can nick him a result. This is why I rated Louis van Gaal, because Van Gaal brought in players. He brought in younger players, regardless if the team was losing or not, because there was a vision there. And if you're looking at Amorim to bring in any youngsters, as some sort of vision. He ain't going to do that because he's fighting for his life at the moment. He's in survival mode. So for me, there ain't no long-term future with this manager. There isn't, because by now we would have seen something, and just buying him player after player, can we be sure that he's going to be using these players right and he's using his players correctly? I don't think he is. So it is, man. It's one of them things. So yeah, both need to stay, but I'm willing to riot over Mainoo. Yeah, listen. I think Kobe Mainoo, for me, I just don't believe the club will sanction a permanent deal. I just can't see that. You've got no youth. You've got no players from the youth that have come into the first team apart from him, and he's only not playing because of this manager's philosophy and the way he sets up. And I'll be very surprised if United, because this club is meant to be about, producing youth coming through the academy. So I'll be very surprised if they just, let Kobe Mainoo go without him really being given a chance. When he first come through, there was talk about Kobe Mainoo being in that Man United midfield for the next, 5 to 10 years. There was talk about that. And now all of a sudden this man just come in, hasn't performed anywhere near capable of what we should be expecting. And now because he doesn't rate Kobe Mainoo as a player in his system, there's talk about Kobe going. Like, I'll be surprised if there wasn't riots. I'm not advocating for riots because, sometimes you think to yourself, what is that going to solve in terms of football? But, if they was to let an academy prospect go, you can't really blame them for rioting, really, because that, for me, it's unacceptable. And Kobe's actually injured. Okay, Kobe's injured. Okay, so no Kobe tonight then. Okay, fair enough. So is Kobe really injured? Is he just saying, look, I want to just keep myself fit for January? Who knows, man? But yeah, listen, I don't want either player to go. I think people are sleeping on Joshua Zirkzee as well. I know obviously Mainoo's an academy product, but people are actually sleeping on Joshua Zirkzee. Joshua Zirkzee is a very good footballer. And again, he's been stifled because of the long list of, well, not to say long list, but because of the managers Man United have had lately. You look at Ten Hag, you look at Amorim now. They're probably two of the worst managers that Zirkzee has had, because these two guys, the way they see football, isn't to the liking of a skill set of Joshua Zirkzee. So the fact that people are happy to let Zirkzee go or don't really want to count on Zirkzee, I don't really agree, because this is a top striker, and if he went to any other team that played in a way that suits his skill set, you'll quickly realize what a good player he is, and as I said, Man United for too long get rid of the wrong players. How can we have the likes of Scott McTominay outstaying his welcome for so long? Luke Shaw still here. Bruno Fernandes still here. Diogo Dalot's still here. Rashford getting as long as he did. Garnacho the same. Højlund the same. Harry Maguire the same. Like, the list is endless, Like, and again, to think that Kobe Mainoo will be gone before Manuel Ugarte, again, cannot happen for me. So, yeah, listen, man. But both players, for me, it's not an option that both of them leave. But again, this is going to have to be taken out of the hands of Ruben Amorim. It's going to have to be Ineos stepping up and just saying, look, we've got two players of real quality, Ruben, that you're not using. Either you use them or you're not going to get anything in January. I think that's the conversation that needs to be had. And again, the players that United have been linked with, if we're putting Baleba, Elliot Anderson to the side, because, you're probably more looking at them players as summer signings. Conor Gallagher and Karim Adeyemi, what are we doing here? As I mentioned yesterday, Adeyemi, for me, why would you bring him in when he's a wide forward, and this system is not playing with wide forwards. You know, you're bringing him in really because Mbuemo's going off to AFCON, and then you think to yourself, well, Mbuemo gets goals. Adeyemi throughout his career hasn't got the amount of goals that an Mbuemo or that you would look at to replace Mbuemo. Not to mention, Mbuemo's playing as a 10. So why would you be bringing in Adeyemi? And then Conor Gallagher, I mean, let's just not go there. That is just Mason Mount 2.0, you know? So, again, man, I'm just not with these signings that have been linked to United in January, apart from Baleba and Elliot Anderson, really. You know, even there's been talk about Semenyo. I mean, why would you go and get Semenyo when you've got Cunha there? Doesn't make sense to me. Because surely Semenyo is going to be playing as a left 10 if he was to come in. You know, the whole thing doesn't make any sense. You know, so... Gav, do you know about the Baller League? Yeah, I do, man. I do know about Baller League. Yeah, I know about Baller League, man. 100% I know about it. I watched it a couple of times, to be fair. Yeah, listen, Mainoo's career is stagnating, 100%. But that ain't through no fault of his own. Like, his career is stagnating because, you know, the manager just doesn't rate what he offers, you know. And you have to question, you know, what did they see in bringing this manager in? Because surely when you've got an academy prospect like Kobbie Mainoo, you know, where was the background checks to look at Ruben Amorim in the sense of players that he actually rates? Because there was talk about him rating Kobbie Mainoo before he come to the club. He don't rate Kobbie Mainoo not one bit, not in this system anyway. So, again, the fact that he's not playing for... the fact that Kobbie Mainoo is not playing for Man United, he's just now well and truly out the picture for England. And as I said, it's going to take a lot for Kobbie Mainoo to get into this England squad because I would say there's 3 places right now that are certainties that are gone in Declan Rice, Elliot Anderson, and Jordan Henderson. There's literally one place up for grabs in that midfield for me, and that's going to be between Adam Wharton, Kobbie Mainoo, Conor Gallagher, and Alex Scott. I think there'll only be 4 central midfielders that he takes, and 3 of them are already gone, in my opinion. So, again, man, I just don't know how Kobbie gets into this World Cup squad. Even because Kobbie for me is good enough to play for England. Of course he is. You know, this is a guy that was playing, you know, in the Euros, was it semi-final, final, just gone. So he's good enough to be in that squad. But I just don't know if he's going to be able to make it this time around, man. Because when you've got 3 players that are nailed on, you know, Elliot Anderson's come from nowhere, really. It's gonna be difficult. And again, there's gonna be a massive clamour to take Adam Wharton. So again, Kobbie's got a lot to do, man. And the fact that this manager just doesn't give him any game time, really, you know, he's part of Mainoo stagnating. He is. Where are you from? I'm from the UK. Big up. Zirkzee will get 20 minutes off the bench at most tonight. Yeah, listen, if that. Like, I'm not even confident that he gets 20 minutes. This manager doesn't rate him. You know, it doesn't rate him. Again, when you've got Mbuemo and Cunha either side, you need a facilitator in a Joshua Zirkzee to get the best out of the wide players, even though they are playing as 10s. But the fact that he's not even used Zirkzee, you know, it don't make any sense. And it's obviously personal. It has to be. And then obviously Sesko's out injured now, so there's no excuse for Zirkzee to play. But these recent comments and the fact that he loves Mason Mount, I'm not confident that Zirkzee plays. So it's crazy. Nah, Everton have been shocking away from home. We should be okay tonight. Palace away is where it all falls apart. Well, let's hope so, man, because I'll be honest with you, man, I'm not confident in this Everton game tonight. I'll be honest. Everton have got Jack Grealish, Iliman NDI, you know, in their attack. You know, let's not sleep on Kiernan Dewsbury Hall as well. They're 3 players, you know, that can cause United problems. I'm telling you. And then if they're going to play Beto or they're going to play, what's his name? The other striker, I forgot his name. Something, is it Thierry something? Or something Thierry? You know, they're willing runners, you know. So I don't think we should be sleeping on Everton's attack. You know, they got Tarkowski in defence as well. You know, he's going to be looking to rough up whoever plays up top there. And again, this is why I don't want to see Cunha play through the middle in this game. Because as we know, Cunha's a 10 and he's better coming from, you know, from a wider position. Now, if he plays in through the middle and you've got Tarkowski breathing down his neck, people are going to be people are going to be saying, Cunha's hasn't had a good game. You know, Cunha needs space. You know, he's a maverick. He needs space. And playing him up against Tarkowski is going to be ridiculous. And again, he's even doubtful today anyway. So if he's doubtful, Zirkzee definitely plays. And he has to play. So, but look at this league table. Yeah, it's crazy. United win tonight. They go third. They go joint fourth, should I say, with Aston Villa. So this league table is crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. But I'm not confident of this lineup, I'll be honest with you. Because if, let's say Cunha doesn't play, yeah, would you put it past Amorim to not even start Zirkzee? You know, he could go with Mbeumo through the middle. You know, he could go with Mason Mount as a false 9. Bruno left 10. Like, this manager is a joke. Like, I wouldn't even put it past him if Cunha doesn't make it, that he doesn't even play Zirkzee. You know, if Cunha doesn't play, Zirkzee has to start. But I'm not confident that happens. You know, guys, come on, let's smash up the likes. We've got 7 likes. There's 11 of you watching. It's only going to be a short stream because we're going to be back at 5:30. So yeah, make sure you come through at 5:30. You know, there's going to be a new guest on tonight as well, Arsenal fan. You know, he's going to be talking his nonsense, so we have to get mentally prepared for this one. But yeah, big up, man. So a poll for Amorim should stay or go, Gav. I'll put a poll in now then. I'll put one in now. Let's see what everyone's thinking. And again, I'd like to know the ones that have a different of opinion. Make sure you put that in the chat as well. So should Amorim stay or go? Let's see. Guys, get your votes in. Let's see what you're thinking. So should Ruben Amorim stay or go? Basically, should he be sacked or should he be kept on? That's the one. Tierno Barry. That's the guy, yeah. Opinion on Bayern winning 6-2 against Freiburg after going 2-0 down. I didn't even see the game. Was that I think Elise didn't Elise get 2? I think Harry Kane got another goal. Nicholas Jackson, I think it might have been that one. I didn't see the game. I think I see the highlights. If that's the game. But again, listen, Bayern are 6 points clear. I think their nearest competitors are Red Bull Leipzig. I think they're 6 points behind them. But yeah, Bayern should win this league, man. They've got the best players, you know, and their main thing for me is the Champions League. And they play Arsenal on Wednesday. So, yeah, man, listen, I'm looking forward to that game. Guys, I'll possibly be doing a watch-along tomorrow and Wednesday. Watch-along tomorrow and Wednesday. Barcelona, Chelsea, and then Bayern and Arsenal. So I'm going to do a watch-along for both games. So, yeah, make sure you guys come through, man, and support the channel. So I'll be doing one for that. How do you feel about Pogba's debut for Monaco? Yeah, listen, I see the reaction to it, man. And you know what it is? On a personal level, you know, someone that loves football, someone that rates Paul Pogba highly as a football player, you know what it is? It's special to see, man, a player of that level just back into football now. And guys, as I said, you know, if Pogba can prove his fitness stay injury free, you know, and maintain his form, he gets back into that France squad, and that makes France dangerous, you know, because at the moment, I would say France, Spain, and you have to put the South American teams in Argentina and Brazil up there. I would say that those four there are probably the front runners for the tournament. Yeah, if Paul Pogba can prove his fitness and form, I'll go as far and say I put France as slight favourites because Paul Pogba is that good and he's that important to that French team. So yeah, man, the fact that he's back after so long out, you know, 2 years of not playing, yeah, man, it's great to see, man. And as I said, man, he's a top player, man. And on his day, you know, he's arguably the best midfielder in the world on his day. You know, but we have to wait and see how he comes back from this ban. Obviously, he's 32 years of age. His ability is never going to leave him. But we have to see if, you know, I still believe he's got the hunger for the game. But we have to wait and see if, yeah, how he comes back. But I'll tell you now, Monaco are doing well in Liga at the moment. I think they're either second or third. And having a Paul Pogba back, I know they got beat the other day, but he's gonna be crucial, man. And I'd love to see him in that French squad, man, for the World Cup. You know, has to happen, man. Imagine a midfield of Pogba, Camavinga, Chouameni, Cherki. Oh, listen, and they got a few other players as well. So yeah, Pogba has to be in there, man. He has to be in there. Opinion on Barcelona winning 4-0 against Athletic Bilbao in the new camp. Yeah, listen, man. Great to see Barca back at their ground finally as well. And yeah, listen, man, Barca are a top team. You know, you think of, like, they got Ferran Torres, man. And Ferran Torres gets goals, obviously formerly of Valencia and Man City. You know, he gets goals. So when Lewandowski doesn't play, you know, he can play through the middle. Obviously, plays out wide as well. Actually started off as a right winger. Now he plays more left or through the middle. You know, obviously, Yamal. I thought Yamal was out for longer, but Yamal's back. Not Danny Olmo played. Yeah. Not Ferran Torres. Fermin Lopez. You know, very, very good player as well. The only disappointment is that Pedri's out. You know, and hopefully Pedri can get back soon. Obviously, they got the World Cup coming up. But yeah, listen, Barca are gonna be Barca for me are gonna be one of the teams to beat this season in the Champions League. You know, I know they got beat by PSG. But listen, these are the early rounds, man. And they got Chelsea tomorrow, which will be an interesting game. But yeah, listen, Barca's my other team, and I definitely can see Barca doing something this season. As I said, I'm still going to say them and PSG are the favourites for the Champions League this season. But I think it's an open Champions League, I would say, man. It's an open Champions League, so we'll have to wait and see, man, how that kind of pans out. But yeah, man, I didn't see the game, but I see the highlights. So I don't understand why Ruben's not using Kobe instead of Ugarte or Casemiro. So Casemiro is our best midfielder. And again, he uses Ugarte because Ugarte's got legs. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, just it's not really hard to work out. This manager doesn't rate ball players, and his system is heavily reliant on legs. That's just what it is. You know, that's just what it is. Like, he doesn't like ball players. All the ball players don't play. If you're looking at Zirkzee, Kobe Mainoo as well. Ahmad's a ball player, but the only reason Ahmad plays is because Ahmad's got an engine. Because if Ahmad had Zirkzee's language style, you would say, then Ahmad wouldn't play either. This manager doesn't like ball players. He likes runners, you know. So this is why he plays Ugarte ahead of Kobe at times. You know, it's ridiculous, really. Guys, come on, make sure we're voting. So we've got 60-40 at the moment. Should Amorim stay or go? So 60-40. Sorry, I'm gonna have to remove this poll because it doesn't really make sense. I don't think I can remove it. Actually, no, what I'll do, so if you put yes for him to stay, yeah, that doesn't really make sense. So it's 50-50 at the moment. So if you just ignore the go, so if you think he should stay, put yes. If you think he should not stay, then just put no. So yeah, apologies guys for that poll. Doesn't really make sense. Big up to Mike. So I can't believe Arsenal's about to win the league again. Boy, I wouldn't be so sure, man. As I said, it's still early days, man. They're in the ascendancy right now. 12 games in, 29 points. But what I will tell you, they haven't really beat the top teams that are basically that were meant to be title challengers. I mean, look at Liverpool in the bottom half. Liverpool beat them at home 1-0 at Anfield. You look at Man City. They should have won that game away from home. They drew that 1-1. And they've got Chelsea now. And Chelsea are second right now. So if they go to Chelsea and beat Chelsea, then I'll start taking it more seriously. So these next two games, I think, are the games that... yeah, I think these next two games are going to be the games that I'll start looking at Arsenal as being serious contenders if they do anything in these next two games. Champions League against Bayern Munich, who are one of the favourites, and then obviously Chelsea, who are second. And if they avoid that, then fair enough, man. We'll have to start taking them seriously. But again, we're gonna have an Arsenal fan at 5:30, so we're gonna see what his take is on it anyway. Big up to Black Mojo. King says Tierno Barry, yeah. So Tierno Barry or Beto might start tonight. And, I think in terms of goal scoring, they're not the greatest. But one thing they are going to do is run. And they're going to add pressure onto that back line. So, and again, guys, don't be surprised if Harry Maguire starts. You've heard it here first. I think Harry Maguire starts. So we're going to see Lenny Yoro possibly on the bench again. Because I think he's going to play Harry Maguire because of the aerial presence of Tarkowski, Michael Keane, O'Brien, and possibly Beto as well. So, yeah, don't be surprised, man, if Harry Maguire starts. Crazy. Big up Foxy Dan as well. Big up. Mike says, I hope Zirkzee plays in the 9 today. Cunha's ineffective facing his back towards goal. He should always play in the 10 to better influence the game. 100%. As I said, man, for me, Cole Palmer's back now. He's back. He's back in training. For me, Zirkzee has to play. He should have been playing anyway. And the fact that Cunha is possibly... Cunha's possibly out, there'll be no excuse for him to not start Zirkzee. There'll be no excuse. I would go as far and say, yeah, if Cunha doesn't play and Sesko's out injured and Zirkzee doesn't start, if I'm Joshua Zirkzee, like, you have to go into the office and just start creating some noise. Like, you have to do that. Because it wouldn't make sense for Zirkzee to not play when Sesko was fit. Sesko being injured, Cunha, who's the other option that can play through the middle, not playing, and you're still on the bench. If I'm Zirkzee, I'll go into his office and just have it out of him. That has to happen for me, because that wouldn't make any sense. So I'm gonna say Cunha should still make it, because unless I'm seeing Cunha's definitely out injured, I'm gonna say Cunha, because if Cunha's fit, Zirkzee's on the bench, but I can't imagine Cunha not playing and Zirkzee still not playing. Like, I just can't imagine that, But this man just got it in him to do that, so... Yeah, big up Fitz, man. I've already addressed that one. Yeah. So guys, if you think Amorim should stay, just say yes. If you think he shouldn't stay, say no. Ignore the go. I added that on for no reason. So at the moment, it's 60-40 to no. So a lot of you think that he shouldn't stay, which is fair. Yeah. Liverpool falling off. Yeah, they are, man. Bottom half of the table on 18 points. But listen, we're gonna save that for 5:30, man, because Jonas has got to answer his he's got to answer for the team, man. Because it ain't looking good. I'll tell you that. I think they've lost. I want to say 6 of their last 8 games or something like that, or 7 games, which is just poor. That is relegation form. That so. So Marseille 1, Newcastle 0, Chelsea 1, Barcelona 1, City 2, Leverkusen 0, Liverpool 2, PSV 2, Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2, PSG 4, Tottenham 0. Some good games, man. Some good games. Some good predictions as well from Nick. So yeah, make sure you put that in an accumulator, man, because you could be lucky. Marseille against Newcastle, Marseille at home. That'll be a good game, you know. Marseille are very good at home. I'm gonna say that will possibly be a draw, that game. Marseille, Newcastle. Chelsea, Barca. Yeah, I can see that being a draw. Possibly Barcelona probably nicking it, I would say, because Chelsea got Arsenal coming up. So, I mean, do Chelsea go with a strong team with that Arsenal game around the corner? Who knows? City to beat Leverkusen. I think City win back-to-back games. Leverkusen and Leeds, double L. So yeah, I think they win back-to-back games. Liverpool against PSV 2-2. You know what? You'd have to believe Liverpool beat PSV because Liverpool are at home, and I know they've been poor, but I'm gonna say Liverpool beat PSV at home. I think if they don't beat PSV and the unthinkable happens, they get beat. I think there needs to be an inquest. You know, have these players down tooled? You know, or is it a case where this manager's just not getting the balance right? But I'm gonna say they beat PSV at home. Arsenal Bayern, yeah, possibly a draw. I can see that one. I mean, I think Bayern could nick it. And then PSG Tottenham 4-0. My God. I mean, I would have to say PSG beat Tottenham. Whether it's 4-0, I'm not sure. But that Tottenham showing yesterday was an absolute joke. Like, they were never in the game. You know, never in the game. So, it could happen, but we'll have to wait and see, man. Guys, we're going to go for another couple of minutes. I'm going to go through some of your questions and comments, and then we're going to wrap up. But as I said, we are going to be back at 5:30 anyway, so make sure you guys come through at 5:30. Big up to United fans, says, big up, Gav. I hope you're good, bro. I'm also playing today, by the way. Yeah, big up, man. Good luck for your game. Good luck, man. Good luck. Oh, what? Maguire's injured. Oh, yeah, Maguire's injured. Okay. Okay, yeah, so no Maguire, no Kobe Mainoo. So that means Euro will start then. So it'll be Euro, Delict, Luke Shaw, Bruno, Casemiro, Ahmad. I don't know if he starts Dorgu or Dallo. I don't know. Dorgu should start, but we all know he's fetish for Dallo. And then Mbuemo's going to be on the right. Now, if Cunha's out, it has to be Zirkzee. But if Cunha's fit, I expect him to play Cunha and Mason Mount. So, yeah, man, like, it's going to be interesting, but we'll have to wait and see. I forgot Harry Maguire's got an injury, so do you know what? It could be a problem, this aerial duel now, because Tarkovsky, Michael Keane, O'Brien, Beto, you know, they're all aerial threats. So, a lot's going to be asked today of Matthias de Ligt, man, but he's a top defender, man, so... Am I a United fan? I am. I am. Yeah, listen, there's no way Dallo should be starting for me, but it's Ruben Amorim, and we all know that he loves Dallo. So I'm not gonna sit here and say Dallo's definitely not playing, because this manager's got a fetish for his favourite players. So yeah, man, it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is, but yeah, man, I can definitely see Dallo starting. But yeah, I mean, 6:30. I'm looking at this team news, man, very closely, because I just hope to see. I think a lot of it depends on Cunha, obviously, because if Cunha's not fit, then obviously, Zirkzee has to play. But if Cunha's fit, then I'm expecting Zirkzee to be on the bench. So I'm not really going to be that surprised, because this manager doesn't rate him. So it is what it is, isn't it? So poll is saying 54% thinks Amorim should go. 46% thinks Amorim should stay. Quite close, but I have to agree with Amorim should go. Guys, if you're coming in there talking shit or just talking nonsense, again, I'm just going to ignore it. So I can see all the comments. Again, if you're not contributing to the channel, you're not forced to be here. You can fuck off. It's as simple as that. Like, I ain't got no time for it. If you're coming here and you've got good conversation on football, whether it's other things than football, then again, come and get involved. You're free to say what you want to say, as long as it's respectful and not racial. But if you're gonna come in there and just talk shit, then I'll either block you or my mods will. So again, man, you've been warned. Just come in there with some positive chat, and again, if it's worth me getting back to, then of course, man, I'd interact. Yeah, I agree, man. Anything can happen if Cunha's out of position. If Cunha's out. If Cunha's out, yeah, he has to play Zirkzee. But it wouldn't surprise me if he puts Mason Mount as a false nine. Or even Bruno Fernandes. Or he might do something mad, put it that way. But I'm hoping not. So yeah. Guys, if you've got any more questions, we're gonna wrap it up in a couple of minutes. Yeah, let me know. Let me know if you've got any more questions or comments. And don't forget your votes as well. So 54% at the moment saying no, 46% saying yes. So the majority think that Ruben Amorim needs to go. 50-50 now. Okay. 50-50. So we got 15 votes. 53% say no. 47% say yes. Decision on Amorim is better made by the end of the season. I disagree. And the reason I disagree, because this season, as you can see, this season, as you can see, it's a wide open league. To think that top of the bottom half is Liverpool on 18 points. Yeah. Liverpool are only 4 points off of top 4. So this is an open league. So for me, Ruben Amorim, doesn't deserve the end of the season to get Man United in a decent position. As I said, if Man United win today, they go joint 4th. So I don't think giving him to the end of the season, because by the end of the season, just based on what I've seen of this manager could have us comfortably in the bottom half with the way the league is going at the moment. So as I said, man, I'm not here to say he deserves end of the season. If you want to prolong your stay at anywhere, you have to show why you deserve to be there. And for me, Amorim hasn't shown why he deserves to be here. So I don't think it's a good idea to to have him end of the season if he's not showing anything. So far, I don't think he's done much, if I'm honest. But I'm not going to come on there every week and just start saying Amorim out, because it makes no sense. But what I would say is, I've made a lot of predictions for Amorim in terms of how many points I feel he needs to get in certain games, and he's failed on every one. I think these next two games against Everton and Palace, I expect to see 4 points minimum. 4 points minimum. If he gets 4 points, then fair enough. He survives. But if he gets less than 4 points, then it's unacceptable. And that starts from today, because he has to not lose for him to get through that, in my opinion. Is this the Amorim Out channel? No, it's not. It's a footballing channel. It's pure football. Pure football. It could be your favourite club. Just anything football, I've got the answers for. So it's a pure footballing channel, man. That's what it is. If someone says Ruben is not the right guy, sorry, mate. I just feel so bad for Ruben. Why do you... Okay, Solanke. I hope it's not Dominic Solanke, yeah? Why do you feel so bad for Amorim? Let me know. Let me know why you feel so bad for him. Let me know why you feel so bad for him before we wrap up. Because the guy's getting paid good money, for one. He's been here for a year, which, let's be honest, it's been a year of disaster. So, yeah, let me know why you feel sorry for him. I'd like to know this one. Guys, come on, 16 votes, 50-50 at the moment, 50-50. Again, let us know why you think Amorim deserves to stay. Rather than the just generic comments. You know what I mean? So, let us know why you think he has to stay. Or are you just one of them people that just likes to go with the majority opinion? Let us know why you think Amorim has to stay. And guys, make sure you're voting as well. Come on, we got 16 votes. And it's 50-50 at the moment. Love the banter. Yeah, listen. Banter's what it's about, man. When it comes to my team, I can't be bantered, man, because, I'm a realist, man. If Man United not doing what they're meant to be doing, then, yeah, as I said, man, it has to be said. So, yeah, let us know if you're still here, man. What's his name again? Let us know, Solanke. Why do you feel bad for Amorim? Let us know, man, if you're still in the chat, or are you just typing stuff for the sake of it? Where are you from? I'm from the UK. I'm guessing you're from Japan? China? Ayem La Chang. Must be Japan. Japan or China, one of the two. Am I right? No, you're not. Okay, what, Philippines? I bet you're going to say somewhere like England. Oh, India. Okay, big up, man. Is that Ayem La Chang? Could have sworn Chang was like a Japanese name, no? No? Big up, though. Big up. Guys, come on. Let's smash the like button and let's sub to the channel if you're new in here. Give me your questions and comments. We're going to wrap it up in about 5 minutes. So if you've got any other questions or any other comments, make sure you get that in before we wrap. As I said, we are back at 5:30 today, guys, or as a usual. Myself, Jonas, obviously Liverpool fan. Fitz, and then we got a new guest coming on today, so it'll be 4 of us. And obviously he's an Arsenal fan, so yeah, if you come through and watch, then just be prepared. You know, he's gonna be excited about his team, and yeah, we're gonna have to shoot him down, man. Let him know, you know, let's be realistic. Put it that way. But yeah, it should be good. Big up to Yemla Chang, says you are so good. How do you know, man? It's your first time watching. I could be shit. How do you know? Big up to Ace23123. Hey brother, first time here. Big up, man. Appreciate you coming on. As I say, it's your first time here, man. You'll enjoy this channel, man. It's, you know, we don't shy away from anything on here. You know, obviously it's a football channel, but you know, if you like your wrestling, if you like your boxing, your UFC, or just general talk, then yeah, it's the place to be, man. But big up for coming on. So Amorim had his chance but failed miserably. It's time for a fresh manager. Who should Man United back? Who would put Man United back where the club should be? Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think it's one of them things where you're gonna have people that like Amorim. You're gonna have people like myself that don't rate him. And but one thing's for sure: the standards of the club should never drop. And Ruben Amorim, you know, not just Ruben Amorim, you know, but he's done a very good job of lowering the standards at this club, because it's now seen as acceptable for Manchester United to be finishing 15th and to be performing the way they are, you know. And I don't want people to take away that, you know, Man United are unbeaten in, what, 5 games now, I think it might be. Because, as I said, when you apply context to a lot of these things, you actually realise that United have been getting away with it for a little while, you know. And again, I've spoken about it before. So, yeah, it's at the moment they're unbeaten in 5 games, but it could have gone horribly wrong. And at this moment in time, United are 10th in the league, and they've got 2 games coming up, which will be 2 tough games against Everton and Palace. I expect at least 4 points, and if he doesn't get that, I'm gonna come out and say what I've got to say as usual, you know. So Yemla Chang says, who is your favourite football player? You know what, I get asked this a lot, but if I was to say who my 3 favourites are, because I can't pick one player, because me picking one player, I can't leave out the other 2. So my 3 favourite ever players are Messi, Ronaldinho, and Brazilian R9, the real Ronaldo. They're my 3 favourite ever players. And again, there's more players in there, but if I was to pick 3, it has to be them 3. You know, because them 3 there, they're for me. I mean, if you're putting Maradona and Pele to the side, because obviously everyone says Maradona, Pele. For me, those 3 there, they're 3 of the greatest players to play the game. You know, the best striker ever for me is R9. And the 2 best ever number 10s are Messi and Ronaldinho for me. You know, I like Neymar. I like Hazard, Pogba, Martial. You know, Paulo Dybala was another favourite of mine. Rivaldo, Iniesta, Yamal now. Yeah, there's loads of players that I do like, you know. But those 3 there, yeah, those 3, there's they can't be beat for me, man. Obviously, Luka Modric, another one as well. Sergio Busquets, Pedri, like now, yeah. Those are the kind of players I like, man. Thierry Henry, obviously, back in the Premier League. And again, there's been a few others, but yeah, those 3 for me, man. Like Messi, Ronaldinho, and R9. I don't think no one can beat that. Oh, and Adriano, another one. Adriano. Those 3 for me can't be beaten, man. Gav, who would you want as Man U manager? Zidane, another one. Forgot about Zidane. Yeah, Bergkamp, Pirlo. There's so many quality players, man. And it's a shame to see football as it is now in the kind of players that we have to watch. Who would I want as Man United manager? Well, again, if you're going Premier League proven or what's here right now, again, you can't really look no further than Iraola and Glasner. But I've always wanted Zidane. Zidane's always been the number one for me for so many reasons. But again, he's more of a unrealistic one. But yeah, it's always been Zidane for me, man. But yeah, listen, just get me as I keep saying, just get me a manager that first and foremost wants to play with the most technical players, the best players, and we keep it moving from there. So what is today's point? Amorim? No, it's not Amorim. It's the comments that was made by Amorim in regards to, players, but basically talking about Zirkzee and Mainoo, and for me, Mainoo and Zirkzee cannot be allowed to leave this club. Cannot be allowed to leave this club, But hey, we have to wait and see what happens, man. Who's your favourite defender? It's hard, man, because there's been some great defenders, man. I like Thiago Silva, Yap Stam, Sergio Ramos. Ramos is ridiculous, to be fair. Varane, obviously when he was in his prime. Van Dijk, even though Van Dijk's struggling now, but for me, I like Van Dijk as a defender. I mean, Rio Ferdinand back in the day was good. Shit pundit, though. Yeah, there's loads, man. There's loads of defenders. Vincent Kompany. John Terry was a very good defender. Trying to think, man. Yeah, there's been loads, man. There's been loads, If you look at Puyol and PK, there's been loads, man. There's been loads. Cannavaro, yeah. Cannavaro, Nesta, Maldini. Yeah, listen, there's so many. Desai, there's been so many top defenders, man. Again, I'm not going to do it justice because I'm going to forget some. Great question. Do you think Gareth Southgate is better than Amorim? You know what? This is a horrible question because I just don't rate either. The one thing I would say though, yeah, and this is the honest truth. For me, I believe Gareth Southgate will be doing a better job with this team than what Amorim is. And that says something. Because Gareth Southgate, for me, when he was England manager, in terms of him getting the camaraderie amongst the squad, yeah. But in terms of an elite manager to get the job done, he was never going to be that. Because really and truly, he isn't that level. But if I'm looking at Manchester United right now with the squad of players they have, he'd probably do a better job than what Amorim's doing. And that's saying something. Because I don't rate either manager, I thought Amorim was meant to be a top coach. It's quite clear he's not a top coach, So I'm not even referring to him as a coach. I refer to Amorim as a manager. He's not no coach. So, so who's your favourite defender from your country? What, right now? If we're looking at right now, I mean, I like Ezri Konsa, to be fair. I think Konsa, Guehi, John Stones, I think them three stand out. But of all time, of all time, it's hard. I mean, obviously the likes of, if I'm talking about my era, you have to say John Terry, Rio Ferdinand. I mean, Ledley King was as good as any of them. The only thing with Ledley King couldn't stay fit, But yeah, Ledley King, I mean, Sol Campbell for me wasn't a technician as a defender, but was a solid defender. So yeah, there's been loads, man. There's probably guys I've even forgetting. The likes of Jonathan Woodgate as well. Remember him? But I think right now, yeah, Guehi, Konsa, John Stones, I think they're the top three at the moment for me. I think there's not reason any surprise. Who will get Champions League this season? I'm going to say Barca or PSG are the front runners for me. They're the front runners, 100%. So I'm not English, so can't form opinions. But what is your take on whatever is happening in Tuchel and the whole English camp? I'm curious. So I'm guessing you're talking about the whole Jude Bellingham situation. And again, if you haven't seen my take on this from Ian Wright's comments about the racial abuse, which I don't agree with, but what I would say about Thomas Tuchel, yeah, Thomas Tuchel is here for a good time, not a long time, yeah. So at the end of the day, Thomas Tuchel is going to do what's best for him, because if he doesn't get England on a good World Cup run, you know, will he even survive for the Euros? I don't know. But one thing I tell you, he'll be under pressure. So the way he's treating Jude Bellingham, I rate it highly, because Jude Bellingham by this country, you know, he's been revered as some sort of savior, as some sort of world-class player, you know. And this is what this country does. It overhypes players. At the end of the day, Jude Bellingham is just a decent player, you know, decent to good player. I don't think he's special. He's nowhere near special. If I'm looking at where he plays for England, you know, he's a number 8 box-to-box midfielder in a 3, not a number 10. But if I'm looking at the number 10s in the England squad, I don't think he's better than any of them. He's not better than Morgan Rogers. He's not better than Eze. He's not better than Gibbs White for me. He's not better than Cole Palmer. Even if you play Foden in there as well, even Foden's a 10, he ain't better than any of them as a 10. So the way that he's treating Jude Bellingham, I've got time for it, because Jude Bellingham's been put into a position because he's gone to Real Madrid, you know, his light skin, sharp hairline. He's been thrust into a position, yeah, where he now feels invincible. And it's like when Tuchel, what Tuchel done well is that he dropped him from the squad, then he brought him back. But everyone thinking when he was brought back, I can guarantee you this now, you know, 95% of the country probably thought when Tuchel recalled Jude Bellingham, it was because Jude Bellingham was going to be the main starter. The fact that he brought Jude Bellingham back and started Rodgers against Serbia and then brings Bellingham on, you know, and again, as I mentioned before, you had Lee Dixon doing his PR for him on commentary. Then he starts him against Albania, then brings him off. The fact that Tuchel done that is very good management, because he's letting Bellingham know that he's not an automatic guarantee like Harry Kane, because Harry Kane we know is going to play when he's fit. But he's letting Bellingham know he's not Harry Kane, for one, and he's letting Bellingham know that he's going to treat him the same as the other number 10, Morgan Rogers, has had, the opportunities that he's had. And I've got time for that, because, as I said, Tuchel doesn't care about outside opinion for me. And why should he? Because he's on borrowed time, as he knows. So if it's a case where, you know, he's doing what's best for the team, I respect it, you know. I do respect it. Man City or Real Madrid? What, history or this season? If it's based on this season, I'm going to say Man City. Because I've said this at the start, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Xabi Alonso doesn't make it to the end of the season. Not to mention, you know, playing Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe together in the same team against the best teams is going to be a problem, you know. And I've said this from the start. Let's see. Right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up now anyway, because I'm going to be back at 5:30. Big up yourselves for coming through. Don't forget to smash the like button, and don't forget to sub to the channel if you're new in there as well. And guys, make sure you share the channel and get your vote in before we wrap up as well. So should Amorim stay? Or yes, 52%. Or should he go? No, 48%. So at the moment, we've had 25 votes, and more of you are in favour of Amorim staying, which, you know, obviously everyone's free to their opinion. You know, if it was my opinion, if it was my vote, I'm going to say he has to go. So it makes it 50-50 at the moment. So, but again, these polls are good, man, to see where everyone stands. You know, Amorim still has his supporters, you know, and obviously he's got people that don't rate it as well. So it's good. So, but yeah, as I said, guys, we're going to be back at 5:30. Myself, Fitz is obviously in the channel right now. Jonas, Liverpool fan. And we've got Arsenal fan coming on tonight as well. So, Yeah, listen, we got Man United, Arsenal, and Liverpool in the house. So 5:30, guys. Make sure you guys tune in. It's gonna be interesting because, as I said, man, Liverpool are in all kinds of problems, and then on the other scale, you've got Arsenal, who are, would I say, looking good? I think they're looking strong, I would say, and you've got Man United that are somewhere in the middle, I would say, more at the bottom. But yeah, listen, it's gonna be a good discussion today. So yeah, make sure you guys join us in a couple of hours time at 5:30. And as always, give us your support and give us your questions and comments. And as I said, if you haven't smashed the like button yet, make sure you do on the way out. And make sure you sub to the channel as well. And yeah, listen, big up to yourselves for coming on. Big up to all the newcomers. Big up to the mods as always. And yeah, guys, we're going to catch you back at 5:30. Take it easy.